Hello and welcome to the webinar today. My name is Annie Rudin and I will be the host of this webinar. Today we will be talking about building a strong foundation in English pronunciation and fluency. So first I just want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Annie Rudin and I am the CEO and lead trainer here at Pronunciation Pro. And I am a licensed speech pathologist, and I'll talk a little bit more about how being a speech pathologist then qualifies me to teach accent reduction training. But for now, we'll leave it at that, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, I want to start off today by telling you about a very impressive man that I'm just starting to get to know. He's the father of Janie DIAZ, a woman who works with me here at Pronunciation Pro. I recently heard his story and can't help but be incredibly moved by the courage and determination of this man. About 50 years ago, he came over to the United States as a political refugee from Cuba. He arrived in Miami just before his 17th birthday with only his brother, who was 9. He and his brother were separated and placed in different foster homes. He didn't know any English when he got here and endured a relentless teasing and ridicule from his classmates at school because of the language barrier. So in response to the teasing, he committed himself to studying English and determined that he would learn to speak it better than any of his native English-speaking classmates. So at the time, there were limited resources available. There was no Pronunciation Pro online. So he bought a 10-cent English dictionary and he studied it daily. By the time he graduated from high school, he was fluent in English and went on to the University of Florida to get his bachelor's degree in political science. By the time he finished college, he had perfected his English and his American accent. He retired recently after a 35-year career with General Motors, a multinational company. He lived all over the world, managing various sales zones, including Dubai and Saudi Arabia, Western Europe and Africa, Mexico, and Central America. So upon returning to the U.S., he became the zone sales manager for the western half of the United States for GM's AC Delco division with nearly $1 billion inventory. So a major success he experienced during his career was identifying that GM was overlooking the Hispanic populations. So from Madrid to Mexico and from California to Detroit, all marketing and advertising was in colloquial English that many ESL speakers do not really understand. He helped the company understand the verbal and cultural differences of these Latino cultures within the US and internationally, which then led to record-breaking sales for the company over an extended period of time. He was the recipient of countless sales awards, both internally and externally, and his sales record within many of these regions he managed still remains undefeated to this date. So what an incredible example this man is for all of us, but especially for those who are determined to make something for themselves here in the U.S. He started with nothing, no advantages at all. He was separated from his family, and the future his parents planned for him was really ripped away in the blink of an eye. But he was determined to make something of himself here in the United States and knew that the best way for him to do that was to learn English. And not just learn English, but to perfect it. Now, in his own words, in this country, faulty, heavily accented English will consign you to mediocrity. They will not be listening to you. They will be mesmerized listening to your accent. It will render you inane, not because you are, but because the accent in the background will be a constant static factor that will limit your opportunities. Because that is what they will hear, because it is different. Do it right, and learn the correct pronunciation. Communication is the beginning of understanding. And by the way, it is a lifelong endeavor. And he's absolutely right. As much as I would like to say that everyone in America has their arms wide open and will be accepting of whatever nationality, English speaking level, or accent you come with, unfortunately, this is not always the case. You are up against incredible obstacles, and your ability to communicate effectively in English will be your number one challenge as you look to succeed in America. Now, I know I'm somewhat biased being a speech-language pathologist. My whole career is focused on helping others improve their communication skills. But your English communication skills, and more specifically your accent, is your first impression. It is the first thing people will notice, and it can either reflect positively or negatively for you. On the negative side, your listener could automatically judge you and see you as less educated or competent as they experience frustration because they can't understand you. On the positive side, your listener could think, wow, your English is very impressive. You must have worked very hard and are very smart to be able to speak as well as you do. Now I ask you, which of these impressions would you like people to think of you? I want you to think about your life and career as if you were building a large structure or a skyscraper. The first step to building such a structure is to make sure you have a strong foundation or a base to build from. If you start with a weak foundation, you will experience problems as you try to build the structure on top of it. It will be more likely to fall because you have to start over. On the other hand, it will be more likely to fall and cause you to have to start over. On the other hand, if your foundation is strong, then you will be able to start building your structure piece by piece with the confidence that the foundation will hold strong and you can keep building and building as high as possible. Now, when I think of a non-native English speaker hoping to be successful in America, the foundation that must be laid is your communication skills, your English communication skills. So just like Manny, the man I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, he knew that in order for him to overcome his challenges and the ridicule he was experiencing at school, he had to learn to speak English fluently. The skills of speaking English fluently are two-part. First, you must learn to speak the English language. This means learning correct grammar and vocabulary, comprehension, conversation skills. The second part is learning to speak English in a way that others will easily understand you. This means working on your pronunciation and your accent. Let's take a look at the first part, learning the English language. Before you can work on your accent, you must be to a level in your English where you understand most of what is being said in English and you are comfortable speaking. Now, learning the English language is a lifelong process, so I don't expect you to be completely perfect, but you must have a strong foundation. That is the first part. The second part is working on your pronunciation and accent. When I talk about pronunciation, I'm talking about the individual sounds and how you must shape your mouth to make these specific sounds. This takes repetition of the movements, saying the sounds over and over and over again until your mouth feels comfortable in these new positions and you are able to hear the difference between similar English sounds. And this is all laid out step by step in the Pronunciation Pro program. Now, when I refer to English fluency, I'm usually referring to your accent, and more specifically, the rhythm you must use to sound fluent. I'm going to say that again because I think that confuses some people. The terms English fluency and American accent are the same. When you learn to speak English fluently with the correct rhythm, you are learning to speak English with an American accent. Again, learning the English language with correct grammar and vocabulary is different than learning the American accent. It is a different skill set and requires a different process for learning it. Now, I'm not an English teacher. I have a strong understanding of the English language, but I am not necessarily qualified to teach English, especially to non-native English speakers. My specialty is focused on teaching the sounds and the rhythm of the English language so that you can speak fluently with an American accent. I don't teach you how to speak English, I teach you how to be understood in English. This skill set is more about understanding phonetics, speech patterns, and retraining the muscles in your mouth. So it's important that you don't just turn to an English teacher to teach you pronunciation. You must work with a speech pathologist if you really want to sound fluent and reduce your accent. So that's what I offer with my 12-week Pronunciation Pro course. It's a step-by-step process for learning English pronunciation and fluency so that you have a solid foundation and understand the rules of pronunciation, and then learn how to use these rules in your speech. And it's important to know that this course is really not for everyone. This course is for you if you are tired of people misunderstanding you or even making fun of you because of your accent. This is for you if you feel that your accent is keeping you from being successful in your schooling or your career. This program is for you if you want to feel confident in your English and want others to respect you and what you have to offer. This program is for you if you are serious about making a real and lasting change in your life and your career. Now, I make these statements because I realize that not everyone is in a place in their life where they're willing to put in the time and the effort it takes to make a lasting change. Although this program is only 12 weeks long, it really can dramatically change your accent and increase your confidence if you follow my instructions step by step. It's not difficult work, but it does take consistent effort, and that's what's important. The students I teach who are committed and ready to follow the program completely are the most successful both in this program and as they graduate from this program and move on in their careers. These two skill sets, learning to speak the English language and then learning to speak English with correct pronunciation and fluency, are the foundation that must be laid for you to be successful in America. If you don't take these two steps seriously, then you will not be taken seriously as you work to advance in your schooling and your career here in America. And just like Manny, once you have that foundation laid, you will have opportunities to use your unique intelligence, your background, and your skill sets to contribute and make a lasting difference in this country and around the world. The company Manny worked for, General Motors, needed his unique understanding of the Latino language. It was because of who he was and his ethnic background that led him to have so much success within his company. Perfecting your English is not about forgetting or removing your ethnicity or your heritage. It's about removing the communication barrier so you can use your unique talents and intelligence to reach your potential. I absolutely know this is possible for you if you want it and if you're willing to work for it. I encourage you to take a look at yourself and your foundation in English. Is your foundation strong enough to build a successful future? If not, then I encourage you to take the steps necessary to strengthen that foundation and enroll in the Pronunciation Pro course. Now, I want you to just go to the Pronunciation Pro website. We have different packages and offerings that you can take a look at. The packages really fit different people in different situations, but really the essence of the course is that we have a 12-week program, 35 different video training lessons, opportunities to get recorded or live feedback, get full accent assessments analyzed by not computers, but real live trainers. We're certified speech pathologists. You have a 14-day money-back guarantee on all the packages, and more importantly, you have a program that is outlined and structured and organized step by step that guarantees that you will make the progress you need to be able to be understood and to have the success that you need and build the confidence that you need to be successful as you continue on in your life and career. Very, very possible. This program works. I've seen it over and over and over again, how successful our students have been and continue as they go through this course and as they are committed to following their instruction and following through with the assignments and following the direction of their trainers, and how grateful they are as they finish up the course and they feel that confidence they have in themselves and are able to then apply that confidence and those communication skills, improved communication skills in the workplace and in their schooling so that they can be more successful. I know this is possible. We've seen it over and over again, and I know that if you're committed to this program, you will see the same results. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, please go ahead and contact me at Annie@pronunciationpro.com, and I would be happy to help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much.